Welcome to Comic Power. I am your host, Comic Killer 72. I think we need some mood music. How about some smooth jazz? Yeah, that's the stuff right there. Today's segment is going to be the top 10 comics of 2016. This is a heavily anticipated show that a lot of you have been asking about. Let me remind you, I'm not doing a Wicked Wednesday for December 28th. We're skipping that week, but it will return on January 4th, 2017. It has been one hell of a year. The feedback to this channel has been positive. Most of you think I'm great. Some of you think I may suck. That's fine. If I suck, I want you to tell me so I can improve the channel. Trying to narrow it down to just 10 books is going to be difficult. This was a very competitive year. A lot of great things happened in comics, in the majors and the indies. So without further ado, here are the top 10 comics of 2016. Number 10, Justice League Darkseid War Special Number 1. Released April 6, 2016 from DC Comics. This is indeed special because it is the origin of GRAIL. GRAIL is the daughter of Darkseid. She is a creation of Jeff Johns, who's now the head man at DC for both the comics and the film division. They've already made a toy of this character and they're slowly developing her, and I believe she's gonna make an appearance in the movies one day. Not Justice League 1, but maybe Justice League 2. We're talking 2022 and further, but I believe they had big plans for the character. Her first appearance is in JLA number 40 back in 2015. You wanna get that as well. As for the investment potential of Darkseid War Special Number 1, the print run is just under 61,000 copies, so it's not overprinted, so that looks good. I think that she makes a natural arch enemy for Wonder Woman because she has a power set that can best her. And Wonder Woman has a weak Rose Gallery anyway. They need to improve it. JLA 40 is probably going to run you about $20 near mint condition in your local store, but you should be able to pick up the Darkseid War for cover price and then hold on to it because it's going to pay off later. Number 9 is Hillbilly Number 1 from Albatross Comics. It's the story of a man named RONDEL who wanders the woods among witches and magical creatures up in the Appalachian Mountains. This project is the baby of Eric Powell, who's famous for doing The Goon, a Eisner Award-winning comic on Dark Horse Comics. And like The Goon, Hillbilly has long-term investment potential as well as quick flip, and it's all because it was under-ordered by comic book stores who were not paying attention. And the print run is just over 10,000 copies. That is nothing, folks. That is very thin. This is the first appearance of this character, so this is a good buy. It runs about $18 in near mint condition raw. Like The Goon before it, Hillbilly is going to be another cult classic by Eric Powell that you want to be in business with because the supply will never meet the demand. Number 8 is Divinity 2 Number 1 from Valiant Comics, released in April of 2016. This is the follow-up to the first Divinity miniseries released in 2015. I had named issue number 1 of that the top comic of 2015. Go back and watch my top 10 comics of 2015 video released on January 18th, 2016 to get more backstory on Divinity so this makes sense. Alright. So in Divinity 2, issue number 1, one of his shipmates named Mishka, a female cosmonaut, also returns to Earth, believing that Divinity deserted the original mission and has betrayed Mother Russia. And they get into a huge battle. The events in Divinity 2 set up the Stalinverse, the current running Divinity 3 series. In this alternative reality, the Soviet Union won the Cold War and not the United States. The Divinity character was designed to replace Dr. Solar, who Valiant doesn't own and was licensed out in the 90s, and the power set is about on the level of Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. As you can see, Divinity and Mishka are both ridiculously overpowered characters, and what they do are going to have ramifications throughout the Valiant universe for a very long time. In terms of investing, the print run is just under 20,000 copies. The regular cover is going for cover price. There's some variants that you can get for less than $10, such as a 1 in 10, so there's not that much risk involved. Most people are going for a Divinity 1 Volume 1 from 2015 since it's his first appearance, but Divinity 2 Number 1 is vastly important to the future of the Valiant universe, so don't sleep on it. It's a long-term hold. Next up at number 7 is Motor Crush Number 1 from Image Comics. This is the most recent book that's on this list, making its debut on December 7th, 2016. Taking place about 30 years in the future, it's the story of Domino Swift, an African-American female motorcycle racer. By day, she's legit as a professional racer, but at night, she races in an underground club with other biker gangs for possession of an engine-boosting drug called Crush. This comic is the brainchild of Brandon Fletcher and Babs Tarr, who's one of the few female artists in comics, and they met each other working on Batgirl. Babs' art style is influenced by manga, as you can see in this Sailor Moon drawing that she did. Motor Crush arrived with some controversy in that some retailers didn't believe they could sell this book because it had a black female lead. This was reported by bleedingcool.com, but these retailers' assumptions were wrong because it was an overwhelming success, and it's already going to a second print as we speak. That didn't make any sense anyway because Marvel has Riri Williams and Moon Girl headlining their own titles. I believe that Motor Crush will be a long-term hit the way that Monstrous was, and that it's a Image Comics release with a female lead, dropped at the end of the year when no one was paying attention, but the word of mouth got out that it was actually really good, and it caught on, prices went up. That happened with Monstrous. I think it will happen with Motor Crush. We don't have print run numbers yet because it's not available at this time. With the retailer controversy, I expect the first print to be somewhere between 15 to 16,000 copies. I think it's a great read and a great long-term investment. If you can't find it at your local store, then buy it on eBay. They sell for about $5 plus the shipping at the time that I record this. But I guarantee you it won't stay there. It's only going to go up. Next up at number 6 is Animosity #1 from Aftershock Comics, released in August of 2016. This may be one of the biggest surprise hits of this year. It came completely out of nowhere. Aftershock Comics was founded in 2015, similar to Image in that it's a creator-owned publication, but they hadn't had a hit until now, and it is a huge hit. The premise is it's a dystopian future where the animals have come awake and they start talking and they start to plot to take revenge on their slave masters, which are humans, which are us. But the family dog stays loyal to his human, a little girl, after her parents are killed, and attempts to try to help her get to safety by traveling across the country where her brother lives. The investment potential of this looks fantastic. The print run for the first print of issue #1 is only around 9,100 copies. In addition, it's going to a 5th print. So there is a big demand for this issue. You can get issue #1 first print on eBay for about an average of $18 right now, but that's probably gonna go up. The quality is great, the premise is good, and it's shipping on time, so you should be investing in this. Up next at number 5 is Lady Killer 2 #1, released August 3rd, 2016 from Dark Horse Comics. This is the follow-up to the critically acclaimed miniseries back from 2015. It's the story of Josie Schuler, and it takes place in the early 1960s. She's a housewife by day and sells Avon on the side part-time, but at night she's secretly a contract killer and her family doesn't know about it. Critics describe this series as Mad Men meets Dexter. The co-creator, writer, and artist is Joelle Jones. Is that surprising to you? Women in comics don't just do princess stuff anymore. The gore and violence level is extremely high in this, but it's a twisted, dark comedy as well. This is one of those properties like Judge Dredd and Tank Girl that will be around forever and has a cult following to it. Lady Killer 2 #1 has a print run of just under 17,000 copies. Right now you can find the regular cover for cover price. There's the 1 in 10 variant, which goes for about $8. Lady Killer 1 issue 1 is her first appearance, and it goes for about $30 right now. That's raw and not graded. You should be investing and reading this. It's fantastic. Next up at number 4 is Bloodshot Reborn #14 from Valiant Comics. This was released June 29th, 2016, and it is the start of the Bloodshot Island story arc. It's the first appearance of numerous Bloodshot prototypes, a Vietnam version, a World War II version, a Soviet version, etc. Ray Garrison is the current Bloodshot, but these are the ones that were before him, so it tells a lot of that backstory about the Bloodshot program. It is also the first appearance of Deathmate, who is the new living weapon from Project Rising Spirit. To get some of this backstory, please watch my October 26th video about 9 minutes and 12 seconds in. It's been a long time since I've read an action-adventure sci-fi comic as good as Bloodshot, and issue #14 is a good jumping on point because it leads directly into the details of Bloodshot USA. People not familiar with the character may think it's Wolverine meets the Punisher, but he's more like the Terminator meets RoboCop. There is going to be a Bloodshot film in the near future, so you should be paying attention to this character. Issue 14 had a print run of just under 10,000 copies, and it went to a second print. With a thin print run and the first appearance of some new characters, This is definitely something you should have. Next up at number 3 is DC Universe Rebirth #1. First off, that's one of the coolest covers released this year. On top of it, it is a huge success for DC Comics after the failure of the New 52. We have to go back to that and talk about that a little bit. The 2011 New 52 reboot was the architect of Jim Lee, and it virtually threw out years of continuity, and it didn't make any sense because these stories just didn't add up. They were just all over the place, and sales were tanking. So Jim Lee got demoted and Jeff Johns got promoted, and DC decided to do another reboot under intense skepticism. But Rebirth was an enormous success. Retailers went too light on it, and they had to constantly do second prints, third prints, and so forth. DC Universe Rebirth is into its 5th print. Before you read any other DC Rebirth, it's essential that you read this book because there's a major reveal on who the architect of the current DC Rebirth universe is. The print run on this is just short of 236,000 copies, but don't let that persuade you from picking it up because this is the key reboot for DC going forward for years to come. And it took 5 printings to satisfy the demand, so it's a major hold. Next up at number 2 is Invincible Iron Man #7. This was released back in March of 2016, and it is the first appearance of Riri Williams, aka Ironheart, who's taken over the Invincible Iron Man title. This character was the most popular new character created in the Marvel Universe for 2016. She's a 15-year-old African-American female from the rough streets of Chicago, but with a genius intellect that has her at MIT. While there, she takes some scrap parts and re-engineers one of Tony Stark's armors. And with his blessing, she takes over as the new Iron Man under the name Ironheart. The character has been well received by comic fans and has crossed over into pop culture in a way you haven't seen in a long time, probably since Spider-Gwen, and that means cosplay, and plenty of it, from amateurs to pros, and the best was probably by the model Today Howard. In November, Invincible Iron Man was rebooted with RIRI taking over as the title character. In terms of investment, this looks like a winner. The print run was just short of 52,000 copies, and this issue went to 3 printings. Near mint raw copies on eBay are going to run you about 28 to 30 bucks a piece. You want this issue in your arsenal. I expect her to be a popular character for a very long time. Before we get to number 1, let's go over the honorable mention list because there's just too many books I couldn't include in the top 10. That includes All-Star Batman #1 from DC Comics. This is the return of Scott Snyder to a Batman series after his impressive New 52 run. Briggs Land #1 from Dark Horse Comics. This is the story of a secessionist compound that wants to leave the United States and what happens when the leader goes to prison and his wife takes over. Motor Girl #1 from Abstract Studios. This is the story of a woman who owns a junkyard that gets visited by aliens who are looking for spare parts. Black Monday Murders #1 from Image Comics. This is Jonathan Hickman giving us a story of the occult, magic, secret societies. With Hickman's work, you really have to read it. You can't just skim it over. He-Man Thundercats #10 from DC Comics. What can you say? If you grew up in the 80s like me, these characters are iconic, and the book is great, and the cover is excellent. Spawn Kills Everyone from Image Comics. One of the most hilarious things I read this year. In this one shot, this mini Spawn goes to a comic book convention and kills cosplayers dressed up like their favorite comic book characters. Renato Jones #1 from Image Comics. This is the story of a Punisher for the upper 1% that exploits the lower classes. It's been well received and it's up to its 4th printing. Star Wars Dr. Aphra #1 from Marvel Comics. This is a spin-off from the events that happened in the Darth Vader series that ended with issue 25. 4001 AD #1 from Valiant Comics. 41st century Japan is ruled by an artificial intelligence called the Father. This is the story of how he's overthrown by the Rai, the protector of Japan. 4 Kids Walk into a Bank #1 from Black Mass Studios. It's a crime caper, but with a unique sense of humor, told from the perspective of an 11-year-old girl named Paige. This barely missed the cut. I wanted to include in the top 10, just couldn't squeeze it in. That brings us to number 1. What single issue is most worthy of this spot? That's going to be The Fix #1 from Image Comics. I don't think I ever laughed so hard in my life from reading one single comic book before. It's the story of 2 corrupt cops that pull off a robbery that's not sanctioned by their captain, who is also a corrupt cop. So they have to do him a favor, which is to move some contraband through an airport, which is protected by a drug-sniffing dog named Pretzels. Their relationship with Internal Affairs is also hilarious. The woman in charge of that department knows they're full of it, but the whole department is corrupt, so there's not really much she can do but play along. If you're not convinced yet, just imagine any movie that stars Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn together. The style of humor is on par with that. The subplot of the fix is it's an indictment against the sleazy world of Hollywood excess. The print run on the fix #1 was just under 15,000 copies, which wasn't nearly enough because it's up to its 5th print. You can get the first print on eBay for around $8 to $10. This book is coming out on time. They're introducing even more hilarious characters. They're building the world. I would advise you to get into this watch cheap. It's a good long-term hold, but a hilarious read. You should be reading this every month. Well, that just about does it. Give me some funky outgoing music. Yeah, that one. Here's a recap of the top 10 comics of 2016. Did you notice that 7 of the top 10 are indies? If you didn't like my list, then you can drop your own top 10 list in the comment section below. Be sure to follow my blog at comicpower.net. On social media, follow me at facebook.com/comicpower.net and comicpower-universe.tumblr.com. And don't forget twitter.com/comicpowersub. I also sell comics on eBay at this link. This is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye. And don't forget to share this video, click on subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and tell everyone you know about this channel to help it grow. Thank you for your support.